Hey, I'm meteorologist Doug Myers with the latest forecast on this Thursday, and we're getting ready for a winter storm that will be making its way into the area. This will mainly be Friday night through Sunday morning. We'll talk more about that here as we go forward, but we had low 50s for many spots yesterday, upper 40s in Topeka and Lawrence. Will be much cooler and more seasonal today in the low to mid 40s, a few upper 30s possible with decreasing clouds throughout the day. And then look what happens tomorrow. It turns really, really, really cold, and this is when we start our trend of temperature staying below 20 for the next 3, even 4 days, and wind chills likely below 0 for the majority of the time. It is going to be awfully cold for a long period of time, something we haven't been used to for a while, so you need to be ready for it. Taking a look at hazards for today and tomorrow. This is through about sunset tomorrow. We may get about 1 to 3 inches of snow in some areas in central and western portions of Kansas. Otherwise, between Friday night through the weekend, we really get a lot of hazards across the entire country, but mainly for the southeastern half of the country. Now, you'll notice that there's a lot of pink, which indicates a lot of ice hazards down to our south, but you also notice a lot of purple, which indicates 6 inches plus worth of snow. And if I zoom in a little bit, you'll notice that right along the Nebraska-Kansas border, along Highway 36, it's kind of in that 3 to 6 inch range. Again, this is one computer model's opinion. It is based off of the European model. We're going to look at some other computer models, and then I'm going to show you what my preliminary forecast is coming up in a little bit. I do want to show you winds as we round out the work week for today, light and variable. It's going to be a really nice day, especially this afternoon once we get rid of some morning clouds. So take advantage of it. I would probably say go to the grocery store just because you don't want to be out when it's a super cold out. But even with that snow, it's just a gross combination to be outside if you don't have to be. And then once we get into tonight into tomorrow, we have winds increasing 25 to 30, even 35 miles per hour at times, as this will be when the strongest winds will be. I think the winds gradually weaken Friday night and into the weekend. See, it's still gusting near 20 miles per hour in the evening hours Friday when we may be dealing with snow. So that'll be something to watch for as far as reduced visibility during that time. Meanwhile, for today, decreasing clouds with mostly sunny skies this afternoon before clouds increase again for tonight. That'll set us up with generally dry conditions and cloudy skies for tomorrow. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to show you another computer model here in a little bit, but by 5 p.m., now we're starting to get a little bit of light snow in portions of our area, but really increasing throughout the evening hours. And so with this computer model, we are indicating maybe a dusting or so in the eastern portion of our viewing area through 9 p.m. and then out to our west and to our south, right around an inch. Once we get into the 9 to 11 time frame, we increase the snowfall totals with many spots in that 1 to 2 inch range. All right, so keep that in mind. This is just computer model's opinion. We'll keep an eye on it just in case it changes tomorrow. 3 o'clock, here's another supercast model showing still dry conditions. So I can't stress this enough. Most of Friday will be dry without much hazards. I'm concerned about leading up to sunset within the last 1 to 2 hours and only a few spots. Most areas are still going to be okay until after sunset. Here's 6 o'clock. Mainly our western communities dealing with that snow, and then snow continuing into the overnight periods. Now, Saturday, there's a little bit of uncertainty here. What we're watching for is maybe we're monitoring 2 systems. Saturday, snow in the morning, and then drying out by the afternoon before another round of snow pushes into the area Saturday night, but most of Sunday is expected to be dry. Whether or not we do get a brief period of dry conditions with 2 rounds of snow, or it's consistent, and then once it leaves, it's gone forever, I think in general it shouldn't really matter. I think the forecast still is about the same. But just to give you an idea, 6 p.m., a little bit of a dusting, maybe up to a ½ inch of snow around the Manhattan out towards Concordia area. Nothing further to the east. Through 11 p.m., now we're getting many spots in that 1 to 2 inch range. So almost similar to what that other computer model did show. And then through 6 a.m., now we have many spots and getting about 3 to 4 inches worth. Some areas closer to 2. And then for the rest of the time period within that computer model through midnight, about 3 to 5 inches, generally speaking. But we're going to continue to monitor the rest of the overnight periods of Sunday night or Saturday night and early Sunday morning. What I'm most concerned about is the very cold temperatures, because the colder it is, the higher the snow liquid ratio. What does that mean? Well, you'll notice that with 1 inch of water, we are looking at that snow really increasing because of how dry and fluffy it is. Also, a lightweight snow too. So that's what we're going to be dealing with, light and powdery snow. That's why it's going to be very, very easy for it to blow around and reduce visibility, even though winds are not going to be strong at all, especially by the weekend. May have some wind gusts near 20 miles per hour Friday evening, but Friday late night into the weekend, I expect those winds, sustained winds, only at 5 to 10, maybe a few gusts up to 20, so not bad. Now, I'm expecting about a quarter to a half inch for many spots, especially along and south of I-70 for the time frame of our storm system. So you can kind of cut this in half to a quarter inch, but we're also going to be a lot colder. So between all that combination, between those factors, here's what we're looking at as far as the snow is concerned. A trace to 3 inches up along the Nebraska-Kansas border, where right now there's not a winter storm watch, but the rest of northeast Kansas is in a winter storm watch. 4 to 8 for much of the middle part of our viewing area, and then 5 to 10 inches down to the south. This is subject to change, so please make sure that you're checking in over the course of today and tomorrow for updates. Most of this snow is falling after sunset Friday night, Saturday, and Saturday night. Sunday dry. We may be able to warm up into the 20s and 30s into next week after single digits and teens tomorrow through the weekend. Wind chill values between late tonight, Friday morning, and throughout the entire weekend between -5 and -20. Very low probability we do get near, if not slightly above zero, Sunday afternoon. I wouldn't count on it, though. There's a quick check of our extended outlooks as it loads. And it's going to stay cold really for the rest of the month. Okay, not really sure why it's not working. Let me see if I can bring it back sometimes. Coming back into it. Okay. We're going to be cold to end the month of January. Or be ready for that. And then to begin February. Not sure why it's not loading. And maybe the system is so cold already. Enjoy today. Prepare today. And be mindful of the forecast that it is subject to change as new computer model data comes in. It's not because we don't know what we're talking about. It's because we get new model data and we adjust the forecast. So we'll do our part to update the forecast. You need to do your part to make sure you're checking the forecast often. And don't be surprised by changes. But most spots are in winter storm watch across the WIBW viewing area. That is a signal to you that this system means business. So be ready for it. Have a great day.